Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today I have the next installment of my color series Redux, where 3 years later I'm going back through my collection and kind of reevaluating what are my top 10 favorite polishes in any given color category. I did this 3 years ago when I first started my channel, and I'm doing it again just because my collection has grown exponentially. My tastes have changed and waxed and waned and gone all over the place. And I just thought it would be fun to kind of see what's the same, what's different, you know, that kind of thing. So I know I say this in like every video, but the way I do this is I sit down, I make my list, and then I go back and I look at my previous video so that I'm not influenced, because there's no way I remember what I said 3 years ago. I barely remember what I said 3 hours ago. So it's kind of like a fun little surprise. I wrote it on a piece of paper this time because I just haven't been very good about planning my videos out lately. I have a form on my Google Drive that I use, and I like fill that out for every video, but lately I've just been too busy, I guess. I don't know. So these are not ranked like 1 through 10, you know, top versus like bottom or anything like that, because it's already hard enough to choose 10 out of my collection. How many greens do I even have? I don't remember off the top of my head, so I'll pop it down on the bottom of the screen here so you guys can know how many green polishes I actually have. And I had to narrow it down to 10. Now, green was not always a favorite color of mine. In fact, it wasn't until the pandemic that I got into green nail polish as heavily as I did. And before that, it was just kind of like, I would get a few greens here or there, but it wasn't like a top priority like it is for me today. So it's kind of funny to see how just in the past few years, this has become like a staple. And not just any green. I'm a big gross green girly. Rob keeps asking me what a girly is, and I'm like, don't worry about it. But yeah, so most of these are going to be either gross or kind of punchy in your face greens. Not like, is there really a subtle green? I feel like green is not a subtle color. I don't know. I guess I'll do one of these so that I can put the picture here. Also, I love looking at this, you know, it's cute. I like that. So the first polish, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just start with Orly's Elian Fields, because you guys know I don't shut up about this one. If you still don't have this polish, what are you doing? This is probably one of my all-time favorite, I mean, it is one of my all-time favorite greens because it's in like top 10. But if I had to give one of these a #1 slot, it would probably be this one. Don't tell the others. This is like the epitome of disgusting. It has this really, like, I'm looking at it on the viewfinder. It's got this like super sickly kind of yellowish undertone. I don't want to see anybody in my comments saying that it looks like poop, because I hate when people compare polishes to that. I'm like, that's so gross. It's just, let's just call it gross and leave it at that. We don't have to be saying all that other stuff. This looks great with like glossy top coat. It looks really unique matte. This is a polish that I don't know, maybe I don't know anything, but like it feels very like high fashion to me, especially when it's matte. It just feels so unique and grungy that like an all black look with this matte, I just feel like would be really cool. I loved the whole collection that this came out in, but this was definitely the peak polish. I still think about this weekly. Like, I think I've shaken this around a little bit, but I've worn this enough times. I've worn it on my toes and my hands. It's a weird toe color for sure. But I've worn this enough that it has a very small fill line. Nothing too extreme yet, but this is one that I want to wear again and again and again. And most polishes, you know, of course I want to wear them, but I have so many in my collection that I like to skip around. But this one, I could wear over and over and over again. I feel like this would be fun with some kind of like transformative shimmer over it too. So once again, I'm just begging you, if you don't have Elian Fields, buy Elian Fields. The next polish I wrote down on my list was Zoya Unice, which this one also, I don't know if you guys can see, has a little bit of a fill line there. I love this color, and it's so funny because when this collection came out, that was pre Gross Green Hillary. And I was like, this is the stupidest color I've ever seen. Like, why? Because it was a Christmas collection. And I was just like, that's not Christmas. I don't get it. And then I put it on and I got it. I understood. It's very Grinch green, but it's got like shimmer running through it. I actually, I did Rob's nails on my channel like last year, I think. And this was the color we ended up picking. And I found out apparently if he had been a girl, his parents were going to name him Unice. He was born in 1990. Like, that's not a 1990 name. Any Unice is born in 1990. I'm sorry, but like, that's like a my grandma name, you know? So yeah, I was just kind of like, what? That's weird. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what my parents would have named me if I was a boy. I should ask them. But this is just another one where it's like the green is just a little bit, there's something like a little off kilter about this. And actually, this color reminds me of, so when I was a kid, my grandpa, not my granddad, who I've talked to you guys about, like with Grandpa's Garden and all that, but my grandpa, who was my mother's father, I was very close with him. And his house was green, like the siding on it was green. And it was like this kind of green. It was a very ugly home. And when I was a kid, I'd call him Grandpa in the greenhouse to differentiate between him and my granddad. And when he passed away and somebody bought his house, the first thing they did was change the siding. And I remember the first time I drove by, I was very young. I cried because I was just like, he was Grandpa in the greenhouse, you know? But yeah, he was like a crotchety old man. And so like this ugly green color kind of suited him. So again, I'm just making memories where there shouldn't be, but you know, I love associating polish with like memories, I guess. So yeah, another, I guess, must have if you're into greens, in my opinion, Zoya Unice. The third one I wrote down was Alchemy Lacquer's Bad Candy. And again, fill line. Are you kidding me? I wear this a couple times a year at least. I got this from when? Polish Pickup September 2021. So this was like the second polish pickup I had ever participated in. It is a kind of neon atomic green with purple metallic flakes and then some kind of iridescent yellow metallic. Are they iridescent or are they metallic? I guess it can't be, it has to be one or the other, right? I think they're like metallic yellowish green flakes as well that kind of are similar to the base color. And it does look like sludge, like a fun cartoon sludge on your nails. And I love wearing this. I especially like it with like really long nails just because it just looks extra gross. It's like ooze, you know? And this is one where when it's gone, like the first two, these are like in the line of polishes for Orly and Zoya, but this one, when it's gone, it's gone. You know, it's a polish pickup polish. So that fill line is a little bit like, oh man, but you know what? It's okay. Oftentimes when I talk about having favorite polishes, people will send me like, oh, here's somebody selling an extra so you can have a backup. But I don't buy backups because I already have so much polish. I don't want to be hoarding backups, you know? So I'm trying to get in the attitude of when it's gone and it's okay. And I enjoyed it while I had it. And that's why I also try to take pictures of all my manicures, because at least that way I can kind of look back and be like, oh, I love that one, you know? So I don't need a backup of this, but it is very pretty. Next, I have one from Queen of Shimmer's Sweet and Sour Lacquer. This one, I'm sure you guys already know, is I Like It When the Red Water Comes Out. I didn't even realize, this is from Polish Pickup September 2022. For some reason, I thought it was 2023. Like, that's how much time hasn't passed in my head. This is a grungy green with a blood red shimmer running through it. This is a reference to one of my all-time favorite Flash animations, Salad Fingers. I used to love. I mean, I was like a raised by the internet type of kid, which I'm sure if you talk to me for any length of time, you'll realize that pretty fast. I just loved Salad Fingers so much. It probably should have been a red flag to my parents. I don't know. But yeah, she since made a trio that is in a similar finish where it's like the base with like a fun shimmer and they're kind of dark and grungy. And then I think it was like a duo or trio, I can't remember, with flakies. But this one is a polish pickup, so you can't get this one anymore. But If you can find it on a D-stash, I love it. I love shimmer, which is so funny because I always felt like early on in my nail polish loving career, I was like, oh, shimmer's kind of basic. I want like something fun and glittery. And now I'm like, shimmer is where it's at because it looks so sparkly, you know? I just really like it. And I never thought my love of salad fingers would cross over into my love of nail polish. So thank you, Sweet and Sour Lacquer, for making a dream I didn't even know I had come true. Next, I have a very love it or hate it kind of polish for you. This is China Glaze Celebrity. Now, the reason I say it's love it or hate it, because I feel like this color itself, pretty tame, but it's got what I like to call hair glitters in it, which are those really fine, skinny bar glitters. Some people find them like nauseating, like literally physically nauseating, which I get it. Like there's some stuff like sensory for me where I'm like, that makes me want to throw up just looking at it. So I'm not criticizing people who feel that way, but for me, I like them. I think they look like AstroTurf, especially in this color. So it's a green jelly base. It has very fine, I think it's like either hollow or silver glitter, like dusted through it. And then it has silver metallic bar glitter, like the hair glitter. And it just looks like I said, AstroTurf, but it's called Celebrity, and it's supposed to kind of look like an artificial Christmas tree, which I think it really does. So I love wearing this around Christmas time specifically. I think it would be good. I always like to be like, here's some cool nail art you could do with this polish that I'm never going to do. But I feel like it would be fun to paint your nails with this and then just do like with a dotting tool, like red, yellow, blue dots. And it would kind of look like Christmas ornaments or Christmas baubles. Some people call them baubles. I don't like that word. It's hard to say. Like, it's like a weird feeling, you know? But yeah, there's one of my weird sensory hang-ups. I don't like bilabial sounds to make them with my mouth. It's weird. Anyways, yeah, Celebrity. I'm pretty sure you could probably still easily get this. I think I got mine at Ulta a couple years ago, obviously, but I'm sure this one wouldn't be that hard to find. And it's just, I don't know. It's like, even though those bar glitters are silver, because it's in a green jelly base, it does give them kind of like a wash of green. So it just looks really festive, I guess would be the word. Okay, next is one I'm going to talk about without crying. I'm not going to cry because don't cry on the internet. That's lame. This is Envy Lacquer's Grandpa's Garden. And again, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I don't think you can, but there's a fill line right about there. I wear this one for my granddad's birthday every year. I wore it recently, actually, because his birthday was at the beginning of March. And it reminds me just so much of my granddad because I have really fond memories of my grandparents. My grandma loves gardening, flowers, vegetables, all that. And so when I was a kid, we would play out in their backyard while he would help my grandma with the yard work. He was always like in the garden with her. And it's just a really fun memory for me. Like I've talked about it before, and they've moved into like a smaller home now, and they're 89, you know, so they can't garden really anymore. My grandma still loves flowers, but you know, he's getting quite sick recently, and so now more than ever, like, this polish does mean quite a lot to me, and it's one of those things, I just cherish those memories, and I'm very lucky. I'm 31 years old, I still have my grandparents. But yeah, I guess I should talk about the polish itself, right? Yeah. It's a polish pickup polish from March of 2022. The maker, this was inspired by their grandpa, and they posted just a beautiful picture of their grandpa in his really lovely garden. It is green. Obviously, this is a green video. I don't know why I keep saying it's green, duh. It's like a green jelly base. It's got green reflective glitter, and then it has these metallic flakes in varying colors that kind of look like pops of like florals in the yard, in the garden. And it just, as soon as I saw it, it called to me. I was like, stunning, have to have it. And like I said, I wear it every year for my granddad's birthday. All right, next we have a really good weirdo green. This is by Glisten and Glow. I didn't actually actively seek this out. I bought a kind of mystery box from a swatcher, and they had put like, you know, it was just like all kinds of indies. And this was one of the polishes. I had never owned anything from Glisten and Glow aside from their top coat and their glitter grabbers. So this was like one of the first polishes I ever got from them. This is Mountain Dew Mocktail. And I'm going to show you the fill line. I don't know if you can see, but it's right about there, which is kind of insane because I haven't had this polish for very long. This is from June 2020 polish pickup, but I got this either in 2021 or 2022, I think. I can't remember. I am a Mountain Dew girlie. I'm disgusting like that. And it's got these like, it's like a deep teal glitter, hex glitters running through it in a couple different sizes. And then I think it's got like super mini, like either black or teal hex glitters. It's got some hollow hex glitters. And then it's just in that kind of like radioactive Mountain Dew color. Like Mountain Dew just looks unsafe to drink. It just looks toxic. I love it, but I fully admit it doesn't look like something you should be ingesting. Maybe I'll go get a Mountain Dew later. But yeah, it was one that I had never bought polish from Glisten and Glow because it's so petty. I just don't like the logo. And I know that's stupid because they have some really beautiful polishes. So it kind of held me back. And then I got this and I was like, okay, I can buy from Glisten and Glow because this is just such a fun polish. And I feel like my fellow weirdo green lovers, this is one that is definitely sought after. So if you can find it in a D-stash, get your hands on it. The glitters are quite heavy. Obviously they sink. So I usually, if I'm going to use this, I set it upside down, you know, on my table there, walk away for like 10-20 minutes so that they can kind of disperse a little bit more, so that when I'm pulling the brush out, it's not like 90% glitter. I like it to be, you know, kind of evenly distributed. So any glitter polish that has like bigger glitters like this, that's going to happen. That's normal. So I always just leave them setting upside down and walk away for a while. That's Mountain Dew Mocktail. We got 3 left. Let's do this one. This one is, I feel like, the only one that people, because every time I do one of these, somebody's like, can't believe she thinks that's that color. Listen, I just don't know what colors are. This one is, I'll fully admit, I feel like it is on the cusp of blue. It's like a blue-green. It's tealish. I feel like it's a green that leans a little blue. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little defensive. This is Zoya's Giovanna. And again, fill line, if you can see that. This is one of my first Zoyas. Oh my gosh, also, can you see there's like a chip in the bottle? This was, I remember I got this polish and my very first Helmer later on, and I dropped it on the Helmer and it just hit and like the shard of glass just went boop, bye. Luckily it's not really sharp. I'm gonna be like rubbing my finger on this and slice my finger open as I say that. This is one I don't remember like buying because I wanted it. I think it was just Zoya was having a sale and it was early on in my nail polish buying, and I just kind of like threw everything in or something like that. It has a weird label on the bottom, like the font. I don't know if you guys can see, the font is kind of like bigger than most Zoyas. Like there's that one. I'll put it side by side with, I don't know why I felt like the need to point that out. I don't know if one's like old or what. But at the time I wasn't into like deeper, darker colors, which this isn't even that dark, but like I was just into brighter, zazzier colors. And then I got this and I put it on and it's got like a shimmer in it, but it kind of wears more metallic. And I feel like it looks more foresty once you paint it out. And I fell in love. And I don't know. I feel like this is probably the first green in my collection that I actually was like, yes, I want to wear that. And it's not even a gross green. So boy, how things have changed. Although this still is one of my top 10s. So, okay. I'd be remiss if I didn't have a favorite neon. So this is Color Club's Anything But Basic. You can see a slight fill line, but there's also some like separation there. So this, I think I found out about this one from Cork Manicures, who she doesn't really post nail polish content that much anymore, but the color, it's like, you kind of would call this like a bleached neon or a pastel neon. And I really like these. They're like chalky looking, but in like the most fun way. There's also Hot 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 Pants, which I feel like is in the same collection. I'm sure there's a couple others, but I love a bleached neon, especially in the summer. I don't really tan, and I don't know if it's because I don't go outside. Could be. That could be part of it. I tend to just burn, though, when I'm outside for extended periods of time, and then I just go right back to this color. So, like, I just feel like I can't get a tan, but I feel like if you are tan or if you have, like, a deeper skin tone, these will look stunning, especially in the summer. They'll just really pop. This is what I call, like, the ideal toe color. This would be fun, like, very, just, like, fun beach day vibes to me. Maybe this will be the year. This will finally be the year that I get a tan. Yeah, I don't know. Rob tans. I mean, he's already darker, but, like, then he tans up super well, too. But then whenever we go out anywhere, he makes me put on sunscreen, like, every 2 hours. It's so annoying. He's like my dad. And then I'm like, you have to put it on too in solidarity. He refuses to put on sunscreen. And I'm like, you can still get skin cancer, even though you're not white. Like, just saying. So, I don't know. Maybe I should put this on him. This will look great on him. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him let me paint his nails with this. He's going to hate it. I can't wait. Okay, and then last but not least, for my top 10 favorites now, can you guess? It is a classic. This is like the penultimate, if I'm using that word correctly, gross green. It's China Glaze Zombie Zest. And again, we got a fill line. I lucked out when I got this. I've told the story before, but I bought somebody's entire collection and this was just in there. And I have it. It is a jelly kind of moss green base, and it has bluish green, like iridescent flakies, like microflakes running through it. This is one that I wish they would bring back or like reproduce, make it part of their main line. I don't know what's stopping them. I don't know if it's just like a pigment issue or something like that, but it's such a good color. It's so good. I remember first hearing about this polish from Miss Holly Berry's, and she had like 3 backups, and she like would go through them. Like she would wear them and like go through the bottles. So I don't know. I miss her. I liked her content. She was one of the first nail polish girlies that I used to watch. But yeah, that is number 10. And this is one that I always wear around like Halloween time because it's, you know, Zombie Zest. What a gross name when you think about it though. Like, I don't know. Now I'm just thinking about like zested flesh. Ew. Okay. Yeah. So those are my top 10. So in comparison to Hillary from 3 years ago, what overlapped? What's different? Well, half of the polishes that I added to the list today, or not today, but you know, like for today's video, half of them were on my list before too. I was shocked. I was like kind of surprised. I didn't remember at all. So all 5 of them are mainstreams that overlapped, which doesn't surprise me. My mainstream faves have kind of solidified over the years. But yeah, real quick, I'll just mention them again. It's my 2 China Glazes, Celebrity and Zombie Zest. Those were on my list 3 years ago and now. My 2 Zoyas, Giovanna and Unice, were also on the list 3 years ago. And Color Club's Anything But Basic. So those were the 5 that overlapped. Now, the 5 that weren't on my list today, but were on my list 3 years ago, I have them right here as well. So the first one we have is Build Me Up Buttercup. This one actually also has a fill line. This is what got me into gross greens. I got this from, I won it from Cork Manicures actually. And it was really my first gross green experience. This kind of opened the door. So that was why that made my list last time. We had Picture Polish's Mossy, which it lives up to the name. It's in their like crushed hollow formula, which I really like from Picture Polish. I haven't bought from them in a while. I don't know what they're doing lately, actually. I need to go check them out again. Really just a fun kind of mossy green with the crushed hollow flakes in there. I had Orly's Nouveau Riche, which is kind of this jewel-toned green. It looks like a beetle, and that I'm pretty sure is exactly why I put it on my list, because I'm a bug freak. I love bugs. And so the fact that it looked like a beetle's wings was pretty ideal to me. So I had that one. I'm surprised one of these didn't make the list this time, but I just hadn't even thought about it when I was making my list, which you know, is telling, but this is 90's Kiwi Crush. It looks blue on the viewfinder. I swear it's green. I swear. It's called Kiwi Crush. It can't be blue, okay? Like, I swear. This is from the Smoothie Bar line, which is like a crelly base with these black shard flakes running through it. And they're all like these vibrant neon colors. It's green, I swear it's green. Nobody come for me. Look up swatches, I swear. And I just really like the contrast of the black flakes, like that really dark black against that neon. So I almost always have one of these in one of my color series. And then the last one that I had, I need to put these on display because I don't really want to use these much anymore, but this one it needs some drops in it, but this is MAC Skin of Evil. They released 3 polishes for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. I collect Star Trek memorabilia, original series only, because there's something about that, like everything in red, yellow, and blue. I don't know. I love the original series. I love Spock. I love Leonard Nimoy. I was devastated when he died. I just loved the original series. I used to watch Star Trek with my dad, and he just really got me into like sci-fi and nerd stuff. So I had to buy these. The worst part about this is like this collection came out. I found out it was coming out, but I was moving to Japan, and I was like, great, I'm never going to get my hands on them. And then I stumbled upon a MAC store in Japan, and they had them. And I think I paid double what they would have cost in the US. But I just had to have them. So yeah, this was on my old one. I actually don't like this polish that much. Aside from the fact that it's Star Trek. If this weren't Star Trek, I wouldn't have bought it. Because it's ugly in a way that I don't like, if that makes sense. But I like that it's Star Trek. So it didn't make my list this time, but I want to put these on display. So yeah, those are my top 10 greens in my collection as of today. Let me know down below if there were any that surprised you, that I didn't add or anything like that, because sometimes I just not thinking, I don't know. But I'm sure for the most part, like you all knew Elian Fields was going to be on there. Like that was, what if it wasn't? What if I didn't put it on there? I feel like everybody would riot. So yeah, let me know down below and let me know what your favorite green is in your collection, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.